Welcome, my friend, to Next Level Change Success. I'm Therese, a change strategist and practitioner with over 20 years of experience designing and delivering impactful change programs across various industries. In this podcast, I share real-world practical strategies to help you create and deliver positive change experiences, whether you're a leader, practitioner, or someone looking to bring new ways of working to life. In today's fast-paced world, change is constant. Here we focus on how you can put people at the centre of your change strategy, because people with a sense of purpose are the most important link in driving performance. So if you're ready to create meaningful change and achieve all the success that comes with it, keep listening. Together, let's change the conversation and take it to the next level. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Next Level Change Success. My name is Therese, and I'm the founder of myvirtualchangemanager.com. I'd like to acknowledge that I'm recording on Thorable country and pay my respects to the traditional owners and custodians on the land on which I am recording, and to elders both past, present, and emerging. So today we're talking about change health checks, and I'm wondering if you are working on a change or introducing change. When was the last time you paused just to have a scan of the environment, of the momentum within your change, to get an idea of areas that you can focus in on to ensure and optimize its opportunity for success? Because success, of course, it's a degrees of variation. It's never an absolute when it comes to success. Oh, yes, this was absolutely successful because it was delivered. Most certainly not. It's more a conversation of to what degree were we successful and where can we improve in future. And if you're partway through your change, you have the opportunity now to pause, take a bit of an assessment, do a bit of a health check from a change perspective to see if you're on the road to success. And I've worked on enough projects and programs coming in to almost recover them from a change perspective, because there's not traction, there's no communication, there is stress and urgency where sponsors or team members know that there needs to be change present on the project or program and communication happening, yet there's nothing going on. And so rather than then just diving in and starting to communicate things, of course, it takes a while for traction to be gained from a change perspective, understanding of the change so you can communicate it effectively, and scanning the stakeholder environment so that everyone who needs to have a role is actively playing a role. And many health checks, and in the project space, the health checks that are undertaken have a lot to do with documents and deliverables. And this is not what a change health check is at all. And if you want to go to myvirtualchangemanager.com, there will be a downloadable health checklist that you can download and use to do this scan that I'm about to talk about now. So a couple of the areas that you're really looking at, I am going to talk a bit about structure, but I'm also going to talk about the momentum that you have in your change, which is why you do this health check. You want to get a sense of whether people understand the change, whether they're aware of it, understand it, to what depth are you in when it comes to communication. Then you also need to gauge confidence, and part of doing the health check is that you can self-assess and get a sense from the questions that are getting asked in the different forums and different governance forums, if those even exist. But with your different stakeholders, you can get a sense of if your stakeholders are objecting to various things or not attending meetings, for example. That they're all indicators around confidence. Are they confident that this is actually going to get legs when it comes to change? Is it a priority for them as much as it is a priority for you? That participation element is really key to assess. The clarity in relation to the change. Is it well understood by yourself as the person either leading the change or introducing the change? Do you know what the impacts are as a result of your understanding of the change? Is that hitting a 10, for example, a 10 out of 10, that yes, we are clear on the change, the impacts and the areas that need to be engaged on this? Or are you still at the very high level aspect of change and knowing, okay, this is, I think, where it's headed. This, I think, is the impact of it, but we need to go and validate that at a deeper level. The flow, and when I talk about flow of change, this is definitely something you witness in a well orchestrated or a humming change, a humming project. People are teaming well together. Everyone has that shared vision on the project. They're clear on the timelines in which it's going to get delivered. And in the change diamond of success, I talk about the fact that the project side, so the clarity around timelines, the clarity around risks, that everyone has a sense of ownership, that really does factor in to your change health check. And if you've ever walked into a forum with a project where there is, quite frankly, dysfunction going on in the project team, and there's a lot of friction, there's a lot of tension potentially in the room, there's potentially some us and them, there's conflict, there's issues, there's outside conversations happening outside of the regular project meetings or change meetings, then that's showing that there isn't much flow. So once again, that's an aspect on this change health assessment that you can gauge around whether the flow is there, because it contributes to momentum and it contributes to the overall success, a degree of success that you can experience as a result of the change. Engagement and buy-in. Have you got the right stakeholders? Have you been having the right conversations with the right people? Is there engagement at the frontline level? And has there been engagement to the right level for the design of the policy, process, or tech solution? Think about that around the level of engagement for your change, and does that level of engagement line up with where you are at in the program or the project or the change itself? So if you've built a solution in a box, so you might have a policy that you're rolling out, you've written up that policy from a compliance standpoint, and yet you haven't consulted anyone on that. You might be seeking to get executive sign-off, but once again, not spoken to any business area about it. You could very well be heading down the path of creating a policy that can't be implemented, that has a total disconnect. It can't be measured about how well it's implemented either. So you want to ensure that even if you're sitting in a more strategic function, sometimes policy can be like that, or an operational function, that you are still consulting and talking and getting the input and feeding through to you insofar as the impact of the solution design in that scenario. And then also lining up, and all of these elements do line up to where you are in your project or program or in your change, if it's not essentially a project of sorts. So by aligning up these aspects and cross-referencing them to where you should be, you're going to get a pretty good feedback loop on the health assessment. And if you don't have, I will note down some of the key documents that you need on critical path. And when I mean key documents, it's not about the documentation, it's about the thinking that goes into each of these elements. And no amount of AI is going to do that for you. This is about how you're self-assessing, and then you might want to ask others some questions to help inform this assessment. So your stakeholders, your subject matter expert, and get their viewpoint on where they see the strengths or the weaknesses of your change, and certainly the opportunities that you have to address them before you go into a go live, so that you can, as I said, improve the probability of success for yourself in relation to this change. So just some of the key areas to look at. As I mentioned, come to myvirtualchangemanager.com, conduct that assessment, or even as you listen to this episode, if you think about those areas, you might already be picking up some things that you might need to address around who you've engaged with. Are you across the impacts in detail? That clarity aspect is so key, because if you're clear on the impacts, then you can clearly communicate to the groups and work on that. And are you clear on the areas of change that you are going to have to implement to support this change? Do you have a handle on the capability aspect, the communication aspect, potentially the HR aspect, which may need to be factored in to your change approach to ensure that it can be as successful as you want it to be? And then, of course, we do have the aspect of leadership. So go to myvirtualchangemanager.com, take that assessment, download it, because I think it will really help you, and it will also highlight other areas that you should consider as well. Just a short, sharp episode, certainly one that can be of huge value to you if you take action and go and download that assessment and use it to assess your change today. Have a great day. I hope this helps in your journey of becoming change savvy, and come to myvirtualchangemanager.com because we have our Changing Projects course coming up. You may want to jump onto that and just sign up for the priority list so that you can actually hear about it first. I hope you have a great day, and just remember that change matters, because you, your people, your organisation, your team, it all matters.